What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Marcus Washington, and you are on the mark with me, where we discuss everything Falcons football. Let me turn this down a little bit, man, just a little bit. So, Atlanta made some moves, man, here at the trade deadline. I didn't think they were really going to make any moves, man. If I'm being honest here, um, I figured that they would wait to offload Calvin Ridley um quite honestly until uh the off season, but it looks like they went on ahead and made their move, man. So Calvin Ridley goes to the Jaguars. This is a very interesting trade, because it involves two draft picks, one for 2023 and one for 2024. But the one for 2024, what's going on, Armani? What's going on, Shard? Can go from, I think it's let me see. It can go all the way up to a second round pick if Calvin Ridley gets an extension. The 2023, the way that is constructed, I think it's a 6th round pick. But it jumps to a 5th round pick if he's reinstated by a certain time frame. Um, this to me, what's going on, John? What's going on, Scooter? Um, this to me was actually a good trade, um, for a couple of reasons. One, we won the Julio Jones trade. Julio didn't stay in Tennessee but a season. Um, Nobody picked up Julio until the last seconds in the free agency of this year with Tampa Bay. And he has just not, even when he's been in the game, he hasn't been productive. But he hasn't been in most of the games. We won the Matt Ryan trade. We got a 5th rounder for Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan isn't even the starting quarterback in Indiana. And he's probably going to get cut at the beginning of uh, next season. This, however, I need Calvin Ridley to play well because I want that 2nd round pick in 2024. Um, then I thought, okay, maybe they're finished. No, they picked up a cornerback from the Chiefs in Rashad Fenton for a 7th rounder. I think that's a conditional 7th rounder, um, which again was smart because we saw what these corners were doing the last 2 games. But we needed somebody. Um, Even though Rashad, I think Fenton got benched, um, and his cut actually benefits Kansas City. It's the salary cap cut, and it looks like the Chiefs are trying to get another potential player on their roster. So they created $1.4 million in cap space by getting off of Fenton. So to me, that was a good deal for both of us, because we need a corner right now. This was actually proactive because this shows that Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith are not folding this season. And you're sitting atop the division right now. And the thing that's killing you on defense right now is your cornerback play. That Hail Mary should have never happened. So I think this is to, he's a filler until we get our guys healthy, because Hawkins out, Hayward out, AJ out. You know what I mean? So we need somebody with some type of experience, because Armstrong came off the practice squad and it shows. So then they they turn around, and they trade Marlowe for a 7th rounder. So they gave up a 7th rounder and then they got it right back. These are good trades. Now, mind you, we're going into next season with all kinds of money. Julio comes off the books. Matt Ryan comes off the books. $100+ million in salary cap next year. And we don't have to worry about spending heavy on any player that we have right now. Calvin Ridley, still under his rookie contract. We just got Drake London. So those are our two all-stars right there. We gave Cordell Patterson his money this season, this offseason. Huntley, young. Algier, rookie. Just got the extension with Grady Jarrett. So all these moves I like, and you add to the fact that we were getting off of Calvin Ridley anyway, because he doesn't fit the ethos of this roster. And he's part of the old regime. So when you look at the moves they've made thus far with getting the older guys out of here, we've won both of those trades thus far. Now, this one, I think we're going to win because I think Calvin Ridley has every incentive to go to Jacksonville and ball out, because he's going to be looking for a big contract. And I don't think that Jacksonville was dumb enough to give up two picks for nothing. They're looking for Calvin Ridley to be a good receiver to pair with their young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And I think they got Kirk up there too. So if Calvin Ridley balls out, this benefits us too. So I like these moves, man. These were very good, calculated moves. We made a move for the short term in getting a cornerback to kind of hold us off until we get our guys healthy. Gave a 7th, got a 7th. So these are good moves, man. Shad says, I'm glad to see this front office doing work. When was the last time we saw this? Exactly. We haven't seen the Falcons really make moves in the trade deadline. And if they did, they were just so mediocre, man. You didn't really feel them. So basically, we picked up 2 picks. We got 1 pick back, and we got a cornerback. And we were going to offload Calvin Ridley anyway. So hats off to Terry Fontenot. And mind you, we're doing this sitting atop the division right now in a complete rebuild. My hat goes off to this front office, man, and the head coach. Because like Arthur Smith said, man, they had wrote our obituary before the season even started. Now we got people looking at us like, man, you know what? That's a scrappy team. And I'm listening to Carolina fans complain all day yesterday about how they should have won, top 5 reasons why we beat the Falcons. First of all, y'all didn't beat us. And I'm sitting there listening to their excuses, and I'm like, if we would have done our job, if we had AJ Hawkins and Hayward back there, DJ's not catching that ball. So y'all have lost anyway by 6. If we would have got the pass interference call in the 4th quarter, that pretty much would have ended the game because we would have had a field goal. We would have won. So it took a miracle for y'all to even be in that position, but that's neither here nor there because y'all are at the bottom. I don't talk to bottom feeders. And I mean, I'm just joking. Now, Carolina played a hell of a game, man. Scooter, says Fontenot is definitely dropping dimes out here. Again, I agree. And these are practical moves that aren't really costing us an arm and a leg. These are nice, sophisticated moves. Because everybody knows we're rebuilding. Everybody knows that. A team that's out here making crazy and questionable moves are the Colts. Colts fans are scratching their heads right now. They don't know what the hell the Indianapolis Colts are doing. Their moves look stupid right now. Our moves actually look pretty damn good. So we'll see where this goes, man. But hey, man, I wish Calvin Ridley the best. Because I still, even though Lord, Calvin Ridley doesn't have it all upstairs, I still think Calvin Ridley was, when he was playing, one of the best route runners in the league by far. And if Jacksonville can get him focused on the game, they're going to get a good receiver. And I'm hoping that happens. Because I want that second pick in 2020, well, the second rounder. I want that second rounder in 2024. That just helps us. Rusty says Terry, the GOAT. Yeah, Terry's earning his keep, man. In his second year, when we let's look at what Terry did. So when Terry and Arthur got here, they already knew they were cash strapped. They already knew it. They knew they were wrapped up in Julio's contract. They were wrapped up in Matt Ryan's contract. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think those guys were worth their contracts, because when they signed them at the time, Julio was arguably the best receiver in the game. Matt Ryan had just came off an MVP season. By far his best season in the game. So I get it. But our old GM kind of made some very questionable moves aside from that. And all of the big signings and big extensions, they did not pay off. When Matt Ryan signed that second extension, he hasn't had a winning season since. Now, Julio Jones has been productive until he left here. Freeman signed his extension. Where Freeman at now? So I think at the route and rate that we're going, I think we're gonna be in good shape, because this roster right now, I talked about this Sunday, man. This roster is absolutely balling above what anybody thought they would be. I had the ceiling at 7 wins. I said, man, if this team wins 7 games, they have overachieved. They're at 4 games now. So if they win 7 games this year and that's it, man, to me, they overachieved. But the fact that right now they're sitting atop the division, they've already overachieved. Because coming into this season, Tampa Bay was the sure lock to win the NFC South. If not them, the Saints were. You look at the Saints wide receiving core, they were talking about how it was arguably the best wide receiving core in the league. They get Michael Thomas back. They got Olave. They went and got who came back home? I forget who it is. But and then they had Alvin Kamara. And then they had Ingram. Defense was stout. What impresses me about this roster right now, and the roster, I believe the roster is only going to get better next year, is the fact that the Falcons have been able to run on any defense. Carolina held Tampa Bay to 3 points. Tampa ain't got no run game to speak of. And we put up a $150 on them. We almost put up 200 yards on the Saints, who had a great run defense. The 49ers, y'all know Jarvis Landry. Appreciate that, Rusty. Y'all notice nobody's talking about the 49ers defense anymore. When we played them, that's all they talked about. I haven't heard them talk about their defense the last 2 weeks. The one we ran roughshod over. And mind you, we're doing this with a guy that came up from the practice squad and a rookie running back. So the moves that I see us making now, man, they're good moves. So I'm not going to be too long-winded on this one, man. I just wanted to get on here and talk about what we've done today, man. And I'm hella satisfied by the moves that we made. They're small, but they're much needed. So what's up? What's going on, Gavin? Gavin says the only thing we need to do this year is be attractive to free agents for next year, and we're doing that. Yeah, because mind you, everybody, if Baltimore does not get this Lamar Jackson thing situated, everybody is going to be in the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. Everybody. And Atlanta in the offseason will have the money to go get him. And I'm sitting here thinking now, oh man, that is, Lord, listen, hypothetically, let's put on our Doctor Strange multiverse of madness hats on. In an alternate universe, if you put Lamar Jackson on this offense, even as it's currently constructed, bruh, that's just, it's an absolute nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare for defenses. Because he's got his tight end in Kyle Pitts. He's got Drake London. The run game is already averaging $150 as is. You'd have to say bye-bye to Mariota. Well, you can keep Mariota, and Ritter would just drop down to the third string. But, bruh, that would be absolutely insane. But I think Baltimore, in a realistic world, I think Baltimore is going to end up signing Lamar Jackson to a long-term contract, which they should have did in the offseason. But wishful thinking, man, you know. I can be optimistic about that. But I am optimistic about the future of our team right now as it stands. My hat's off to Terry Fontenot. And my hat's off to Arthur Smith for coaching this team this year, man. Now, in the offseason, they're probably going to build a defense. But I think this might be Dean Pease's last year. If they build Dean Pease a defense and this defense still can't stop nobody, rest assured, year 3, he'll be gone. But I like the moves. Hats off, couldn't be any happier. But with that being said and done, man, I am up out of here. Y'all have yourselves a great rest of the week, and we will talk Sunday. Peace.